It's easy to think of tires as simple black rubber hoops, but that's like calling a smartphone just a piece of glass. The truth is, a tire's internal architecture is a complex piece of engineering that dictates nearly everything about how a vehicle feels and performs. For decades, two fundamentally different design philosophies have competed for dominance: the radial and the bias ply. Understanding the difference isn't just about becoming a car expert. It's about understanding the physics of how your vehicle connects to the world. So let's pull back the curtain. Construction. A bias ply tire, the older of the two designs, is built with a crisscross pattern. Layers of fabric cords, usually nylon, are laid down diagonally from one inner edge of the tire to the other. The next layer is laid at an opposing angle, creating a strong, interwoven mesh. This crisscross pattern continues for several layers. The key thing to understand is that this construction makes the tire a single, unified unit. The sidewall and the tread, the part that touches the road, are functionally locked together. When the sidewall flexes, the tread deforms with it. Then, in the mid-20th century, the radial tire came along and completely changed the game. Instead of crisscrossing layers, a radial tire's main body plies, its carcass, runs straight across, from bead to bead, at a 90-degree angle to the direction of travel. This is where the name radial comes from, as the cords radiate out from the center of the hub. On top of these radial plies, a separate belt made of steel or other strong materials is placed directly under the tread. This construction effectively decouples the sidewall from the tread. The sidewalls can now flex and absorb bumps independently without distorting the tread. Ride and handling. Because a radial tire's sidewalls can flex independently from the tread, they act like an extra set of shock absorbers. When you hit a small bump or an imperfection in the road, the sidewall bulges and absorbs the impact, preventing that harsh jolt from transferring into the cabin. This results in a noticeably smoother, more comfortable ride, especially on paved surfaces. During cornering, this flexibility is also a huge advantage. The independent tread stays flat on the road surface, maintaining a consistent contact patch, which gives you more predictable grip and a confident feeling of control. Now, consider the bias ply tire. Its rigid, interconnected structure means the sidewalls are much stiffer. When a bias tire hits a bump, the entire tire casing has to deform, and that stiffness transmits more of the road's harshness directly to the vehicle's suspension, and ultimately, to you. The ride is often described as firm or even harsh on smooth roads. In a corner, as the stiff sidewall tries to flex, it tends to pull the tread with it, causing the contact patch to distort and lift. This can make handling feel vague and less precise, especially as speeds increase. At high speeds, the tire can start to deform, leading to a feeling of instability. Traction and grip. A radial tire is designed to maintain a wide, stable, and consistent footprint. Because the tread is stabilized by the steel belts and operates independently of the sidewalls, it stays flat against the pavement even during hard cornering or acceleration. This larger, more consistent contact patch means more rubber is gripping the road at all times. The result is superior traction in almost every on-road scenario. Better grip in the rain because the tread can channel water away more effectively. Better grip during aggressive cornering and shorter braking distances. A bias ply tire's footprint behaves differently. Its flexible, unified casing allows it to conform well to highly irregular surfaces like you'd find on a farm or a construction site. This makes it excellent for generating traction on dirt, mud, or rocks at lower speeds. The footprint tends to be longer and narrower. However, on a paved road, its weakness emerges. As the tire flexes during cornering, the tread tends to squirm and lift at the edges, reducing the size of the contact patch right when you need it most. Heat and high-speed performance. The design of a radial tire is inherently better at dissipating heat. Because the tread and sidewalls can move independently, There is less internal friction generated as the tire flexes and rolls. The single layer of radial plies and the stabilizing steel belts work together efficiently without the constant rubbing of crisscrossing layers. This allows a radial tire to run significantly cooler, even at sustained high speeds. This thermal stability is what makes high-speed ratings like V, Z, or W possible. The tire remains stable, its handling characteristics remain consistent, and the risk of a blowout is greatly reduced. Bias ply tires, on the other hand, generate a lot of internal heat. Remember those crisscrossing layers of fabric? As the tire rolls and flexes, those layers are constantly shearing and rubbing against each other. This friction creates a tremendous amount of heat. At low speeds and for short distances, this isn't a major issue, but as speeds increase, the heat builds up rapidly. The rubber can overheat and soften, causing the tread to wear quickly and deform. This heat buildup is the primary limiting factor for a bias ply tire's speed capability. Rolling resistance and fuel economy. Because radial tires run cooler and have less internal friction, they waste less energy. Their stable tread and flexible sidewalls are optimized to roll forward with minimal resistance. Less energy wasted as heat and deformation means less work for the engine to do to keep the car moving. The bottom line is that lower rolling resistance translates directly to better fuel economy. While the difference might seem small on a single trip, over the life of the tires, it can add up to significant savings at the pump. This efficiency is a major reason why virtually all modern passenger cars are equipped with radial tires from the factory. Bias ply tires have inherently higher rolling resistance. The constant friction between their internal plies and the way the entire casing deforms with each rotation consumes more energy. That energy is lost primarily as heat. For the applications where bias tires excel, like heavy-duty off-road work, fuel economy is often a lower priority than shear strength and puncture resistance. The focus is on getting the job done, not on sipping fuel. Tread life and wear. The radial tire's genius lies in its stabilizing belt. This belt holds the tread firmly in place, preventing it from squirming or flexing as it rolls down the road. This stability ensures that the tread wears down slowly and evenly across its entire width. Combined with the tire's ability to run cooler, this results in a significantly longer tread life for on-road use. You get more miles out of a set of radial tires, which helps offset their typically higher initial cost. Bias ply tires tend to wear faster on paved surfaces. Because the tread and sidewalls are a single unit, the tread is more prone to squirming and distortion as it meets the road. This movement creates extra friction and can lead to irregular wear patterns, especially if the tire is not perfectly balanced or aligned. The heat buildup also contributes to faster wear by softening the rubber compound. While a bias tire is incredibly durable against cuts and punctures, its tread life in terms of mileage on pavement is generally shorter than a comparable radial. Load and durability. The strength of a bias ply tire comes from its thick, multi-layered sidewalls. The crisscrossing plies create a robust casing that is highly resistant to punctures, cuts, and impacts from rocks or other debris. This makes them the undisputed champion for severe-duty applications. Think of tractors, large earth-moving equipment, and heavy-duty industrial trailers. In these environments, the ability to withstand abuse and carry immense weight is far more important than a smooth ride or high-speed handling. Radial tires, by contrast, have a relative vulnerability. They're flexible sidewalls. While this flexibility is great for comfort, it makes them more susceptible to damage from sharp objects. A sharp rock that might just scuff a bias tire could potentially puncture the sidewall of a radial. While radials are certainly strong enough for everyday passenger car loads and even most light trucks, their design prioritizes road performance over the extreme puncture resistance needed in mining or construction. Cost and maintenance. Radial tires are more complex to manufacture. The process of creating the separate radial plies and then applying the steel belts requires more advanced machinery and technology. As a result, they typically have a higher upfront cost than bias-ply tires. However, you have to look at the total cost of ownership. Because radials last longer and improve fuel efficiency, they often end up being more economical in the long run for the average driver. The initial investment pays for itself over the life of the tire. Bias-ply tires are simpler and cheaper to produce, which is reflected in their lower purchase price. For applications where tires are frequently damaged and replaced, like in some agricultural or industrial settings, this lower upfront cost can be a major advantage. In some heavy equipment scenarios, a damaged bias tire can even be repaired in the field, which is often not possible with a radial. Typical applications. So, where does each tire belong? By now, the picture should be pretty clear. Their applications are a direct reflection of their strengths and weaknesses. Radial tires are the standard for virtually all modern passenger vehicles, from small commuter cars to high-performance sports cars and SUVs. Their superior ride comfort, handling precision, high-speed stability, and fuel efficiency make them the obvious choice for driving on paved roads. They are designed for the world most of us drive in every day. You'll also find them on long-haul trucks and trailers where fuel economy and tread life are paramount. Bias-ply tires have found their niche where toughness is the top priority. They're the go-to choice for off-road vehicles, agricultural machinery like tractors and combines, and heavy construction equipment like loaders and graders. Their puncture-resistant sidewalls and ability to handle heavy loads make them perfect for these abusive environments. You will also see them on classic cars, as owners often want to maintain the vehicle's original handling characteristics, and on certain types of trailers designed for heavy, short-distance hauling.